So I've been watching非诚勿扰now for about a year. I probably only understand about 30% of it, but when I first started watching, I didn't understand any of it. And I was only watching a little bit, but for the last 6 months, I watch it pretty religiously because it helps me hear different accents, learn new phrases, modern Chinese culture, and everyone seems to watch it who's Chinese. I don't have any American friends who watch it, but then again, they don't speak Chinese. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts of what I think, just sort of watching it from an outside perspective and what I'm trying to understand. And of course, I have sort of a cynical perspective towards television shows, having watched American reality shows for years. So anyway, I'm just going to break down what my thoughts are on the show. And I'm going to start with the New Jabin. And it seems to me that the New Jabin Mun are divided into certain types or levels. And the first one seems to be like there's the top tier girls. There's like the main girls, the girls that define a segment or a cycle, because they seem to cycle them through. Like there's a bunch that you identify with a certain time. Like when I first started watching, like Liu Wu Duo and Luo Qi seemed to be like the main girls, or they were heavily participated in the questions and were Xindeng Nu Sheng a lot and all that. So and it seems to me too that the top tier girls are in the 11, 12, 13, and 14 spot. They always seem to put the most attractive girls, the most articulate girls, or interesting ones, and they're always picked as the Xindong Nu Sheng a lot, and they also seem to get a video. So that seems to be where they put their main girls, and then there seems to be slots that have certain types. Like the 1 slot seems to sort of have the neutral girl. The 2 slot has a Waiguoren, and now the 3 slot Sanhao seems to have like a Feizhouren. So and the 24 slot they seem to put an older woman. So there's sort of like a method to the madness. They put a strong personality a lot as Qi Hao, it seems like. But anyway, there's like top tier girls that you look forward to New Jabin every week, and they participate a lot and they get picked a lot. Then there seems to be the girls, well, like I said, the type girls as well, that maybe aren't all-star, but they're a certain type, or can be all-stars. Like they had Pan Pan for a while, it was like the Pangza. And then they have, like right now, they have a workout girl. Sometimes they have a cosplay girl, or a Danshen Mama, or a Gu Dai Nu. So they have certain types that seem to show up on the show. Chongming was sort of a type when she was Qi Hao. So there's those kinds, and then they seem to have girls that are just there to get picked, that just want to get picked and go to the Aegean Sea. And so they're always going up. They're always leave the lights on at the end, and they're usually not on for very long. And then there's a type of girls that I call fodder girls, who you don't even really notice them, and they just seem to be there so somebody gets a date at the end of the show, because they just show up at the end and get picked, and you were like, who was that girl? You don't even remember the introduction. So anyway, and as far as the girls go, I find a lot of times ones I don't like at first, I end up liking later. And some I like at first, I end up not liking later. An example of one I didn't like at first was 14 slot, the woman who sold yachts. I didn't like her at first, but then I realized she was pretty funny. And I actually liked her by the end. Wang Tian, I didn't really like at first. I couldn't understand anything she was saying. She talked too fast, but then eventually I liked her by the time she got picked. So those seem to be the different types that they have for the Nujabin. For the Nanjabin, they seem to have like 5 or 6 types. Of course, they have Gaofu Shuai, which is very rare. And when a Gaofu Shuai comes, there's usually, like 10 lights left on before they leave. There's the Yi Wen Nian Qing, which the girls don't seem to really like. Artist types, people with weird hair that dress kind of funky, doesn't seem to go over too well. There's Tu Hao. Tu Haos come on, and they get sort of a mixed reaction. But I guess if a Nujabin, wants Yo Fang Yo Che, Tu Hao is a good choice. And then of course there's the Diao Si, which when they come on, you could tell right away they're going to be taking the long walk home, but they're very entertaining. And for their Shindong Nusheng, they always tragically pick one of the all-star girls, it seems like. And but they do provide a lot of entertainment value to the show. There's also the Chi Pa, which also provides a lot of entertainment value to the show, and they usually come with some interesting skill or something weird or a good video. And I want to interject, I think the videos they make of the Nanjabin are really cool. They're really well done. I enjoy watching them, and I think they have some very artistic Daoyan working for them. Also, there's the Jinji Shiyong Nanjabin type, which seems to be fairly popular with the Nujabin. Jinji Shiyong Nan doesn't go over so well in the United States, but it seems to go over pretty good on. They seem to go over pretty good on the show. And then of course there's the types that are Da Nanza Jui, which some of the Nujabin seem to be looking for that type. So that's sort of what we get with that. And then of course I've noticed that when the girls really like a guy, they do this bao dung, where they can go down and if they're really attracted to a guy, and sometimes there's some Nujabin that really abuse the bao dung, like Ding Dong Li did a lot. The 24 slot seems to be you get the bao dung princesses there, and I've noticed it used strategically as well. Like a Nujabin will use it if they're down to 3 and she really wants to go up. She can bao dung at the end, or they can cut off other girls from bao dunging before them. If there's like a Gaofu Shuai, sometimes it'll go right away. But sometimes it can backfire too, because I remember an episode where Ding Dong Li bao dunged and then found out the guy had been divorced twice, and she wasn't too happy about that. I also noticed sometimes the girls, and sometimes you can get an all-star girl, will go up just so the Nanjabin can biao bai. Like a lot of times a guy will come just for a girl and will biao bai, and it will give them another chance to do that. It's really tragic though when you get a Chi Pa or a Diao Si coming to biao bai an all-star girl, or any girl for that matter, because they always get rejected, and it's pretty tragic to watch. But hey, they had it coming. I think also too, sometimes when a Nanjabin comes and there's just one girl left, a lot of times they'll pick them just so they can go on the trip if they didn't have 22 lights go out. That's something I've noticed. But another thing too is a big question is Fei Chang Wu Rao Jia? Because my younger Chinese friends tell me it's Jia, and older say no, it's not. And my take is on that is that I think there's a little bit of help with the producers. It seems like some of the all-star girls in like the 11, 12, 13, or 14 slot will ask questions that set up things to push the show forward, whether it's showing a particular skill of a non-job bin, or sometimes they'll have pictures of like old driver's licenses of new job bin or whatever, and it needs to be set up. Or if something's going to happen that is pre-planned, it's usually an all-star girl will ask a question that leads into that. So I do think they're fed some questions to ask the non-job bin. I do think too, though, when there's a biao bai, when a non-job in comes just for a girl, and even an all-star girl, I don't think they see it coming, and then it's up to them to decide, because it seems to me that at an end of a cycle, if there's an all-star girl, they'll send someone that they think is a good choice, and they can either take it or leave it. Example being a 12 slot. Sure Arhao, the woman that she was like a car mechanic. What was her, Elena or something, I think was her English name. She was a car mechanic, and right before she was gone, they brought this guy, and they brought a white dress down, and they had pictures of her all over, and it seemed like it might have been a good choice, and she rejected him like twice, I think. Like first, no. Then a couple girls came down, he biao baied again, kept going, she rejected him again, and that was it, off the show. Li Lu, who was one of the classic 13 slots, who never left her light on, if I remember correctly, they sent a guy to come for her, and he didn't even have videos. His whole video was to come for her, and you could see on her face, she didn't see it coming, like was confused about it. Then when he got down on one knee and sang to her, it went through her head, okay, I'm going with it. And so she left. So I guess what I'm saying roundabout is, I don't think the girls know when the biao bai is coming. So I don't think that's fake, but I do think the producers know what's coming, and I think they set certain things up to move the show along. Anyway, I've rambled a little too long about this. I realize a middle-aged guy in Los Angeles talking about Fei Chang Wurao is not going to get a lot of hits anywhere, but if anyone sees this and has any thoughts to help me, please leave a message. I'm trying to understand the show. I enjoy watching it. I have a lot more thoughts on it as well, but this is just a little, hey, this is what I think of the show, and I'm glad it's on to help us who want to learn Chinese culture and accents and phrases and things like that. It's a great show to watch.